Welcome back, Cosmic Crew. I'm so glad you've returned for another week of Immersive Spirits Astrological Insights. Last week, we were navigating that charged and tender threshold, Aries season giving way to the first breath of Taurus. If you felt the urgency beginning to soften, if some part of you started wanting to slow down, to plant something, to make something real rather than just reactive, that was the cosmos whispering into your bones. We were being asked to root, to land, to arrive somewhere after weeks of fire. And we're not done, not by a long shot, because something enormous is arriving on Saturday. And the entire arc of this week is in one way or another preparing you for it. The central thread I want everyone to hold with you for this entire week is this. The mind is being rewired. Not broken, not dismantled, rewired. We are crossing a threshold week into a new era of thought, communication, and collective intelligence. And the question the cosmos keeps asking is simply, are you willing to let your thinking evolve? All right, so let's get into it. I have to start by saying today, Monday, was a lot. I'm obviously coming to you very late in the day. I've been traveling, so I'm coming to you from a different spot in my home, a little more casual than normal. But up front, today has been a lot. We opened with Vesta conjoining Pluto in Aquarius at 2:11 a.m. And Vesta was asking us, what are you truly devoted to? And then Pluto turned and asked, what must die so that that real thing can live? In Aquarius, this conjunction orients those questions towards the collective, toward your role in community, the systems you serve, the vision of the future you're willing to sacrifice comfort for. Pluto will burn away any devotion that's rooted in performance or fear. What remains when the impure is removed is the genuine, undeniable Vestan flame. By 5:22 this morning, Mercury in Aries conjoined Saturn in Aries. The mind got serious. The architect meeting and the strategist, that was a big one. But words can carry serious weight under Mercury and Saturn. So any of those commitments you made today, whether with yourself or someone else, Cosmos is going to take it seriously. So continue to think before you speak and speak only what you mean. Just a little bit ago at 3:44 p.m., Mercury conjoined Mars in Aries. So where Saturn demanded precision, Mars demands speed. The mental energy is catching fire. Thinking becomes doing. Communication becomes action. This is the day's combustion point. Channel it well, and you can move mountains. This is the forge. It's the place where devotion, discipline, and directed force combine to shape whatever you're truly building. So let's talk about Saturday's ingress next, because it's really the energetic sun that this entire week is going to orbit around for us. Uranus enters Gemini on Saturday, April 25th at 6:50 p.m. Uranus has been moving through Taurus since 2018. It's the 7-year cycle during which the great disruptor has rewired our relationship to the body, the earth, money, stability, and what we actually value. We lived through financial upheaval, the electrification of infrastructure, the COVID-19 pandemic's reckoning with physical systems, and a collective confrontation with what survives when material security is threatened. Taurus was about the body, about survival, about what's real. Gemini is different. Gemini is the mind, communication, information, language itself, the nervous system, the exchange of ideas between one person and another, the capacity to hold duality, two truths at once, without collapsing into one. When Uranus, the planet of revolution, awakening, and sudden disruption, enters Gemini, it brings its lightning bolt to the realm of how we think and how we talk to each other. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was 1941 to 1949. Think about what happened to communication during those years. The rise of wartime radio as a mass medium, the first operational computers, the complete restructuring of how information moved across the world, the atom bomb, which was, at its core, a technology born of radical new thinking about the nature of matter and energy. Now translate that energy into our current context. Artificial intelligence, decentralized information, the fracturing and reimagining of shared reality. The question of what's true in an age of digital multiplicity. The rewiring of human attention spans, human cognition, human language itself. Uranus in Gemini is not subtle. It does not slowly build. It sparks, it disrupts, it illuminates. And it will do so in the domain of thought, communication, and information exchange for the next 7 years. For you personally, look into your natal Gemini placements. Look to your third house. Look to wherever Gemini falls in your chart, because that is where the lightning is arriving for you. That is the part of your life being activated, disrupted, and ultimately awakened. The key word for the entire week, as we build toward and then cross this threshold, rewiring. Not destruction, rewiring. The old circuitry is being upgraded. The question isn't whether the change is coming, it is. The question is whether you are available to the new signal. Now, we cannot talk about Uranus entering Gemini without talking about what happens just hours before. Venus conjoined Uranus at 7:59 p.m. on Thursday. In the final degrees of Taurus, what feels like a parting kiss between Venus's earthy, embodied sensuality and Uranus's electric, unpredictable brilliance. Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus is an aspect that shakes the heart awake. It can bring unexpected encounters, sudden shifts in what you value, a desire for freedom in love and finances that can no longer be pushed down. Under this transit, what was comfortable may suddenly feel confining. What felt impossible may suddenly feel available. What you thought you wanted may reveal itself as something else entirely. This transit can feel destabilizing. I want to be honest about that. But what's being destabilized isn't love itself. It is love that has outgrown its container. And then just a couple hours later at 10:03 p.m., Venus enters Gemini. She moves from earth to air, from slow, sensual, embodied love to curious, quick, communicative, multifaceted love. Venus in Gemini wants conversation, wants variety, wants the electric thrill of ideas exchanged across a table. This shift will color our lives, creative impulses, and sense of what holds value for the weeks ahead for all of us. Thursday's first quarter moon in Leo at 8:31 p.m. lands right in the heart of all of this. The first quarter moon is always going to be a momentum place in terms of it's that moment of decision making, right? On what we've started building since the new moon. And then are we willing to step into the light with that? With Venus, Uranus just perfecting and Venus about to change signs, the action Leo is calling has everything to do with our heart being bold. Now, as we move back to Saturday, that same day Uranus changes signs, the sun in Taurus forms a square to Pluto in Aquarius at 10:32 a.m. This is one of the year's more confrontational aspects. Personal identity and individual vitality pressing hard against collective power, transformation, and shadow. Sun square Pluto can surface power struggles, hidden agendas, and the parts of yourself you've been keeping underground. It is not comfortable, but it is clarifying. It's going to ask, where are you giving your power away? Where are you grasping for control? And what truth has been asking for your attention and not getting it from you? In the context of Uranus entering Gemini on the same day, this feels like the old guard facing a new paradigm. The tension between them is real. Use Saturday's energy consciously. Don't fight the power dynamics, illuminate them. Let the sun's light reach Pluto's depths. The transformation available on this day is significant. All right, so let's get into the day-by-day energies for this week ahead. Excuse me. We've talked a lot about Monday already, right? We talked about the Vesta conjoining Pluto in the morning and what that looked like for us. What are you genuinely devoted to? and not for personal gain, but for something bigger for yourself, right? Something larger than you. We talked about Pluto burning away anything that was rooted. We talked about Mercury conjoining Saturn in Aries, where that mind meets the architect at dawn, and how that happened for us this morning. Those commitments and speaking truth because you're going to be held to what you speak. We talked a little bit about the moon and its different placements, but this morning we had that crescent moon perfect in Gemini at 11:32. It offered us a little breath of light. So still curious, still gathering, and it's a really good counterpoint to our morning's energy. So we've got then Saturn is our Mercury conjoining Mars that happened here about an hour ago, 3:44 p.m. on Monday. And that's when our day really shifted into high gear. Saturn's all about demanding precision. Mars demands speed. It's tremendous energy here that is going to be focused, direct, and combustive. So aim it well. Our highs all day Monday have been around that Mercury Mars conjunction because it's a tremendous mental clarity and forward momentum step for us. The lows were this morning with that Vesta Pluto and Mercury Saturn because we could felt the pressure, right? We felt pressurized and everything felt a little weighty. Overall, the tone is thinking of this as the forge. It's where that devotion meets discipline, meets directed force. Tuesday, tomorrow, which is April 21st, is going to arrive with a gentle exhale, right? The early morning moon in Gemini sextiles Chiron in Aries at 5:57 a.m. A productive, quiet invitation to name something you carry. Sometimes healing begins simply in being able to articulate the wound. Simple as that. The moon enters Cancer at 11 a.m., and the quality of the day will shift entirely from curious and airy to deep, feeling, and internally oriented. The Cancer moon asks not what you think about, but what you sense, right? So, what are you sensing? The afternoon holds two contrasting notes for you. At 1:50 p.m., the moon sextiles the Taurus sun, and that's a moment of natural ease, emotional vital selves in alignment before a square to Neptune in Aries at 3:53 p.m. brings us a mid-afternoon fog. Sensitivity runs high, edges blur, and you may pick up on energies that aren't necessarily yours. Ground yourself with water, breath, so think air, and feet on the floor. That's your earth and grounding. Then late in the night at 11:15 p.m., the moon trines the north node, retrograde in Pisces, and the day closes with a whisper of soul level direction. Pay close attention to what arises in that liminal space before you nod off tomorrow. Highs for Tuesday with the moon trine the north node late at night will include a felt sense of alignment with your path. Our lows for the day with the moon square Neptune mid-afternoon could feel some emotional confusion, maybe some energy sensitivity, but our tone overall is tender and questioning, from faith being tested to your path being felt. Wednesday is a day to ask, it's asking you to trust this arc. The overnight hours bring 3 consecutive Cancer squares to Saturn at 12:30 a.m., Mars at 3:11 a.m., and Mercury at 5:29 a.m. Each one pressing the emotional body's need for safety and nourishment against the Aries realm's demand for action, accountability, and quick answers. The Cancer's Aries axis holds one of astrology's most poignant tensions: the mother versus the warrior, the need to be held versus that need to move. Do not make decisions, big decisions, especially at 3 a.m. Don't try to solve the feeling, just let the night pass. Because at 4:51 p.m., everything opens up. The moon conjoins Jupiter in Cancer, and this is one of the most genuinely warm moments of the entire week. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Its generosity, optimism, and abundance fully expressed. When the moon meets Jupiter in its own sign, the heart expands not by effort, but by grace. If you can be somewhere soft on Wednesday afternoon, with good food, with people you love and that love you, with something that makes your nervous system exhale, be there. This is the week's gift to your body. Our highs Wednesday with the moon conjunct Jupiter in Cancer include emotional abundance, warmth, and genuine expansion. Our lows with those overnight squares to Saturn, Mars, and Mercury, you may feel really restless, pressurized, and or squeezed. But the tone overall for Wednesday is a feeling of breakthrough tenderness and the expansion that we feel after that squeeze. Hi, if you've been curious about what the stars actually have to say about your life, now is the perfect time to find out. I'm offering 30% off astrological readings right now over at immersivespirit.com. Whether you're navigating a big transition, trying to understand your patterns, or just ready to see your chart through fresh eyes, I've got you. Grab your discount code from the show notes below and head to immersivespirit.com. Use your discount code to book a reading before May 17th because that's when this offer expires. Links are below. I'd love to read for you. And now back to astrological insights. Thursday holds more transits than any other day for us this week, and it earns every one of them. The day opens at 4:51 a.m. with Venus sextile Pallas in Pisces, a quiet, elegant alignment between the heart and the strategist. Trust what you sense about love and your own worth this morning. It's accurate. The Cancer moon moves through its final aspects with a tender square to Chiron at 8:35 a.m., surfacing old wounds around identity and courage. Then a warm sextile to Venus at 12:52 p.m. and an easy, spacious sextile to Uranus at 1:28 p.m. before entering Leo at 1:40 p.m., lifting the energy from water to fire. Creative, expressive, wanting to be seen. The Leo moon trines Neptune at 6:56 p.m. The evening opens with some genuine magic. Art, music, spiritual inspiration, really anything that touches the invisible. Then the heart of the day is arriving. Venus conjoins Uranus in the final degrees of Taurus at 7:59 p.m. This aspect shakes loose whatever has been too comfortable, too fixed, or too afraid to change in the domain of love and value. The first quarter moon in Louis in Leo perfects at 8:31 p.m. Be bold, be visible, step into the light. An hour later, Venus enters Gemini, love shifting from slow and earthy to curious and electric. And the night closes with the Leo moon opposing Pluto in Aquarius at 11:12 p.m. Your light pressing against collective expectation. Hold your center. Your full expression does not diminish anyone else. And Leo wants to be expressed. It's a very heavy Leo day. Our highs with Venus conjunct Uranus and the first quarter moon in Leo are feeling electric, bold, and like we're at a threshold crossing. Lows for Thursday with that moon opposite Pluto at night include some power dynamics, potentially with others, and visibility fears. The overall tone, think Heart's Revolution. Bold, electric, and something really changing forever. After Thursday's electricity, Friday gives you something to work with. The Leo moon spends the day forming trines to the entire Aries stellium. Saturn at 4:19 a.m., Mars at 9:49 a.m., Mercury at 4:20 p.m. And fire in harmony with fire is one of the most genuinely flowing energy the week has to offer. This is not urgency. This is confident forward motion, the kind that moves from genuine desire rather than fear. Wake Friday with a quality of clarity about what you're building. Use the morning's Mars trine to act on it physically, creatively, and decisively. And then at 4:20 p.m., the Mercury trine arrives like a cosmic green light. Speak from the heart on Friday. Whatever needed to be said, that brave conversation, the honest declaration, the naming of what you really want, it's going to land for you under this trine. Friday's the wave after the storm, and it's moving in your direction. Our highs for Friday include all three Leo trines bringing us fire and harmony, bright momentum, and confident expression. Lows to watch out for include possible overconfidence. Blah. I'm just losing my speaking abilities. Or that dramatic Leo energy, it could really run unchecked, right? It's a very powerful Leo day. So don't be overdramatic. Friday's tone is truly one of bright momentum. It's riding the wave from Thursday into action and clear expression on Friday. Saturday holds two of the week's most significant moments, separated by a morning of confrontation and then an evening of arrival. At 10:32 a.m., the Sun in Taurus squares Pluto in Aquarius. Your personal power pressing against the collective shadow, hidden things wanting to be seen, and power dynamics surfacing out into the open. It's not going to be comfortable, but it is going to be clarifying. What truth has been asking for your attention? Today it stops asking and starts insisting. The afternoon offers some relief as the Leo moon trines Chiron at 1:57 p.m., and visibility itself becomes healing. Then at 6:50 p.m., Uranus enters Gemini. The world changes quietly, electrically, and irreversibly. The great disruptor crosses into the sign of the mind for the first time in 84 years, and our body registers it before our minds can. Literally at the same moment, the moon enters Virgo and immediately squares Uranus. The nervous system's instinct is to organize, to make practical sense of what just shifted. Let it. Let the recalibration begin. Pallas enters Aries today as well, with strategic wisdom arriving in warrior's clothing. Then the night closes with the Virgo moon squaring Venus in Gemini at 11:40 p.m., and the analytical and the curious finding their way toward each other. Both are part of the integration. Highs for Saturday, we've got Uranus entering Gemini, which include that generational awakening, a huge paradigm shift for us, and the noticing of the rewiring really beginning for us all. Our lows around this, with that Sun square Pluto, include some power struggles, some shadow surfacing, and a potentially very confrontational start to your day on Saturday in the morning. The tone overall is world shifting, with a feeling of threshold crossed and nothing feeling really quite the same. Sunday opens at midnight with Pallas and Aries already sextiling the newly arrived Uranus and Gemini, with strategic intelligence and revolutionary thought in immediate harmony. The new era doesn't wait. Ideas arriving in the night or early waking hours may be significant, so make sure to keep something nearby to jot everything down as it comes to you. That Virgo moon trines the Taurus sun at 6:37 a.m., and the morning settles into deep, earthy grounding, exactly what the nervous system needs after a week of this scale and magnitude. We will need it. By 8:35 a.m., the moon opposes the North Node in Pisces, and the week's central integration question arrives. Can you hold both discernment and surrender? Can you be grounded and still trust what can't be mapped? Venus in Gemini sextiles Neptune at 11:42 a.m., and the heart meets the transcendent, suggesting we write something, draw something, and let love be a little idealized this morning. Mercury squares Jupiter at 12:33 p.m., and the mind wants grand meaning. Watch for overpromising, for trying to think your way into a territory that requires feeling first. And at 7:43 p.m., the sun squares Vesta in Aquarius. It's a full circle echo of Monday's opening. The question from the beginning of this week returns to you in its final form. Are you still devoted to what you said you were devoted to? Has the week's fire purified your commitment, or has it revealed that it needs to be revised? Both are honest answers. Let the sun's light clarify what the flame is truly for. Our highs for Sunday with that Venus sextile Neptune is dreamy, inspired, and spiritually beautiful. Our lows with Mercury square Jupiter can mean overpromising, mental overwhelm, and too much meaning making too fast. Don't look for meaning in every single thing or trying to make it mean something. Our tone to wrap up this week, integration, finding our new normal, and discernment in the new frequency. So let's zoom out and wrap this up. The thread of this week, from first to last, the rewiring. We opened with Vesta and Pluto asking what we're truly devoted to. Not the comfortable answer, the real answer. We moved through the emotional weight of Cancer moon pressures, through the great tenderness of moon conjunct Jupiter, through the electric heart jolt of Venus, Uranus, and the bold, visible courage of the first quarter moon in Leo, and a heavy Leo day. And on Saturday, we crossed the threshold into a new era with Uranus moving into Gemini. The first time in 84 years that the planet of revolution has arrived in the sign of the mind. This week has asked you to be serious about what you think, to be intentional about what you say, to let your heart be surprised, to stand in your own light, even when Pluto is watching from the shadows, and to be willing to let your mental architecture be completely, beautifully, irreversibly upgraded. You don't have to understand the new frequency yet. You just have to be available to it. The mind that's insisting right now that it already knows cannot hear the message that's trying to come through. This week, you made space for the new signal and that new message, and that's enough. All right, so I want to hear from you in the comments because there was a whole lot. So beyond my gaffes, which were awesome, but beyond that, with Uranus entering Gemini and this once in an 84-year shift into our realm of communication and thought and information, what is one belief about yourself or the world that you're ready to let be upgraded? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see it. And then I would say honestly that that's it for this week to wrap this up. But God, that's a lot, right? There is a whole lot going on. So if you would love a better understanding of your own chart, how your stars align with whether it's this week, another week ahead, maybe you're looking more for astrocartography and a placement in space in the world and what that looks like, please head over to immersivespirit.com and book time with me. I would love to help you learn about your own chart and get into those details, right? And understand what it all means for you. Right now, we have a 30% coupon because I am retiring from almost 30 years in the corporate world so I can focus full time on immersive spirit and you, our community. And that will be happening on April 30th. So almost 30 years with April 30th, it only made sense to do a 30% discount. So please make sure to use the website link and the coupon code below and get your session and your reading booked now. You can use this coupon code as many times as you'd like, and you can book your reading as far out as you'd like. But please remember that coupon expires May 17th, so do it now. And I believe that's it. Let's take advantage of those huge savings. It's a wrap for this week. I'm Stephanie from Immersive Spirit. I'm thankful to have you join me on Astrological Insights. And until next week, stay grounded and keep looking up. I'll see you again soon.